Hey folks, what's up? Thanks for checking out I Suck at Painting. Today is a special episode as this is my first collaboration video with the fine folks over at the YouTube Creators Braintrust. These videos are going to be about converting or kitbashing orcs, specifically demolitionist orcs. Jorge at JotaDG Miniatures and I came up with this idea, and we got some of the other creators from the Braintrust to join in. We have Jamie at Miniocalypse. We have Emily from Patchwork Em. We have Ryan from Orks Paint Shop. And of course Jorge from JotaDG Miniatures, all doing their own version of a demolitionist orc. So that's enough talking, let's get to building. Hey you want to do this video for me? Alright, so as I said, this collaboration video is about converting or kitbashing an orc. The order of the video is not necessarily the order in which I built, it just seemed the best way to show you the whole build. I really had no idea what I wanted to do. So as I looked through my bits, I kept going back to these open-handed arms. And these are what ended up sparking the idea for my demolitionist. I grabbed a torso and some legs that I liked and started shaping the torso. I wanted to kind of mimic a bomb disposal technician suit, so I trimmed a bit I had to act as the main armor piece for the front. I cut out a piece of plastic card and glued it on to act as a backer for the holes of the eyes and the mouth. Then I glued that to the body. I cut 4 pieces of plastic rod and glued them together into a bundle. Using a pin vise, I drilled a hole in the end of each rod. When I dry fitted them to the hand, I saw it was open too far. So I cut off the thumb and almost lost it, but I didn't. I shaved some plastic away in the palm to shorten up the span of his hand. Then I glued the thumb back on. And I filled the gaps with sprue goo. Now he had more of a kung fu grip. Next I cut the knot and the tassels off his arm wrap thingies. You'll see why later. So what about the plastic rods then? I drilled a hole into one of them and made sure my wire would fit. I cut off a good chunk of it, then glued it into the hole. When that was dry, I wrapped the wire around the bundle of what I'm sure you already guessed was explosives. Next I cut some slabs of thinner wire to be the fuses. Once I was sure they would fit in the holes, I twisted them all together all sloppy-like, because orcs. I trimmed them up and got ready to glue them in. and in with the glue, really trying not to glue it to my fingers. Once that was dry, it was finally time to glue the boomers to the grabber, and of course I glued it to my thumb. I found a little greebly and trimmed and drilled it to be like some kind of control box, and I glued that on. I bent the fuse bundle back and fitted into the hole of the control box. As for that arm wrap, I wanted it to be straps that held on a tiny armor plate I was gonna use for something else. So I just glued that on. And with that, the left arm was done. For the right arm, I thought I saw something in the Storm Boys box that would work, but I was wrong. So back in the bits box, I found an arm with an axe that would work. I cut the axe off at the handle and smoothed off the top. Then I found a suitable diameter plastic rod and cut a sliver off and glued it on. I trimmed that down later off camera. This is going to be the detonator button. Next, it was on to more of his armor. I honestly had no clue what I was doing, so it was a lot of measuring and cutting and re-measuring and re-cutting. So please let me know in the comments how you would do something like this differently, because I really want to do another one sometime. By the way, I will do a video on painting this guy, and when I do, I'll add a link up here and in the end screen. But this video will just be about the build. Anyway, I decided to do this in 2 parts. Still unsure of how to finish it. The main armor piece will cover the shoulders, and in order to get it on him right, I had to do a bit more shaping. Once I was sure of the fit, I cleaned up the edges and started a little bit of the details. And then it was glue time. So the BDU suit has that big collar thing on it, and I didn't have any bits that would work for that part, so I decided to just make one. I made it purposely oversized just because I thought it was funny. I double-checked that the head would fit before gluing in the sides, and then applied more sprue glue. We'll come back to this part in a minute. I needed some more boom stuff, because of course I did, and also because I chose these legs because I like the boots, but since they're a motorcycle rider legs, the butt is all weird and I really wanted to hide that part. So this is the bundle I settled on. Because of the width of the main front armor panel, I needed to change the angle of his left arm. I mixed up some milliput to fill the space that would be created by the wider spread of his arm and shaved down the rear part of the arm. It took a few tries to get the right amount of milliput and the angle right, but eventually I got it and smoothed out the excess with a color shaper. After that dried, I did some cleanup with a hobby knife. Finally, it was time to attach the right arm. This was totally straightforward, just glue and go. The bundle for his back was easy too. Just glued everything in place. I then cut out some plastic card to make some final details for his arm and the shoulder armor sections. I didn't end up using it all, but whatever. I then cut some bits of plastic rod to use as rivets. From other projects, I found it easier to glue on longer pieces, then once they're fully cured, trim them down with a nipper. After that, it was just a matter of gluing them on. The last bit of detail was to add some damage to the front armor. To do this, I used a technique I learned from the Night Shift Scale Modeling channel's video on making shell impacts. First, a hole is drilled and shaped. Then a bit of Tamiya modeling putty is added to the holes. The putty is left to dry for a couple minutes and then an appropriately sized tool is pressed into the hole, causing the putty to smush out around the edges of the hole. Any extra can just be taken off with your knife. Finally, it was time to attach the head. And after a quick brown to white zenithal prime, this is where we ended up. Once again, I'm so happy and excited to be doing this collaboration with all these other great creators. Thanks to Jorge at JotaDG Miniatures for working out this idea with me, and to Jamie at Miniocalypse, Emily at Patchwork Em, and Ryan at Orks Paint Shop. Please do go check out their Demolitionists videos, drop them a like and a sub. Their links are in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider doing the same for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.